Hi, welcome. Thank you for being here. Let's do something a little different today. First of all, I picked up my vintage tattoo tarot cards. Some of them have some risque imagery, but we'll see if YouTube will allow these cards to be visible. So if you don't see this video, I guess that's what happened. They squashed it. All right, let's go. Let's see what's with us here today. I want to do sort of like a journey through time. Okay, so I'm going to lay out, I should probably do it this way so you can see most of them. Strength, Eight of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, the Hermit, Queen of Pentacles, King of Swords. I think maybe this will be good. Yeah, we're doing something totally new. Okay, with our limited space on this desk. Come here. Three of Wands, King of Coins or Pentacles, and Temperance. And the overall energy for the reading is the World. Oh, okay. Well, here's that image. Here's the World as the overall energy. Maybe it's the feeling of that end of year where everything's kind of coming to a culmination, and really it's arbitrary, but there's something here that's saying there's a cycle ending. Something's completing in your life. What is it? It could be anything. What is coming to a completion? Does it feel like something concrete, like there's this project we've been working on, or something in the family, or something tangible? Or does it feel more energetic, where it's like some inner work you've been doing has like started to amount to something? It could be whatever it is for you. There's some cycle that's wrapping up, which often means what is there left to do, what loose ends, or what does our new beginning look like? Because there's never really I shouldn't say never, there's rarely like a firm ending, right? Things have a way of spilling over, and so we'll see what this reading has to say about that. So we have, what I thought about doing is kind of going in a progression, but there's a little past, present, future here with this, the way this is flowing. Oh, you can't see these. We'll just see if I can give you enough of an overhead view there. All right. So when I think about this first part, maybe what's been on our mind is this idea that right now there's this feeling of I want more. And that's not like a materialistic thing. It's not like greedy feeling. It's like there's so much to be had in this lifetime. I don't want to settle for less anymore. What is it that I really desire? Because this is the Eight of Cups being heart energy. What is it that I deeply desire? There's this feeling in the past, like you've had the strength to get to this point, and you've done a lot. You've done a lot of heavy lifting, and yet, what is it that gets amounted to something, but what is it I deeply desire from this point forward? Okay, then we have the Ten of Pentacles saying, that is, I have some picture in mind of the future of what that looks like. Right, so that's kind of where we are. And then we have that's kind of like what's been on your mind. Then right here in our present reality, we have the Queen of Pentacles. You're in the daily life of nurturing something, whether it's family or an idea or a project or your inner self, like we said with the inner work you might be doing. I have to say, because if you're prone to watching, if you're inclined to watch tarot readings online, you're probably somebody, I would guess, who has the power of introspection at their disposal. Like that's something you're inclined to do. So a lot of us who dabble in this or watch it tend to like to work on ourselves, right? and see like, what else could I be doing, or what haven't I looked at yet? What am I seeing? So that's why I say that. There's the Queen of Pentacles right here in the heart of the present day reality that says, you're doing the good work. You're like nurturing something in your life, or your loved ones. And it takes a lot of energy to do that, but there's something you're nurturing. With that, it probably means you've had to be a little separate from maybe those things that would keep you out and social and generating newness in your life, because you've been focused in the everyday grounded reality of nurturing something. But it has felt like it's a little bit kept you distant from maybe connections that you would have otherwise encouraged or nurtured. So none of it's good or bad. It's just saying, if you felt like you've been a little bit on your own, that's okay. There's good reason. It's showing up here to say it's not a bad thing. You've had to maybe separate yourself from that, like, oh, let's go make new friends. Let's go out to drinks. Let's, whatever that is. It says, okay, I've been in my little hermit mode, my little cocoon with this thing I'm nurturing, or these people. And that's totally fine. Then in the future state, we have the King of Swords, and it's sort of like this feeling that what that amounts to is a buildup of confidence that you know how to do that thing. Okay, so there's some sort of like confidence building in that story of what you've been nurturing. If it's children, that means like, oh, now that I've been through it, I know how it's done. I was able to nurture these children or this child into a young adult, or successfully, whatever that looks like for you. But anyway, if it's not children, it could be anything that you feel like, I've been set apart to do my thing, I'm nurturing, and it's actually leading to a buildup of confidence that I'm building like skill in that area. And that's why I've felt the need to kind of hibernate with it, perhaps. Okay, so then we have in the subconscious, we have that King of Pentacles, which is that deepest desire. Remember how we said that's what's coming with your conscious thoughts? Like, we have this idea of where I'm going. I'm building up this, like, I don't know if it's material wealth or just comfort in life, whatever comfort means to you. You are on, that's where your mind is like building toward that. And then what's nice to see here is that in alignment with conscious thought or subconscious drivers, which is that thing you deeply desire, is comfort, is contentedness, is like, I don't want to have to struggle through life. So it's good to see, because sometimes if those are out of alignment, we say, well, how do we bring them into alignment? Like my inner, my outer, my subconscious, my conscious, that way, because like that's a really fulfilling feeling, I think, is to feel like you're in alignment at all levels. So that's here. So that's a good thing. And then we may have been in this spot of like, in the past, in the subconscious, some of the undercurrent was like maybe always looking out at like, where do I want to put my energy? What's my passion? What's my purpose? There's this like deep subconscious desire. The undercurrent of maybe your life up to this point has been like motivation, drive, ambition, passion, all those things that keep us moving ahead, moving forward, moving toward something that you deeply desire. Okay? In the future, what's interesting about this is in the future, in those future undercurrents, you're coming into harmony and balance with this Temperance card here. So that's beautiful, because it's like, if you have felt kind of in your cocoon to do the thing, to nurture the thing you've been nurturing, and maybe sometimes when that happens, we might feel like, yeah, but I want to do the other stuff where I've been in life, where it's like, I want to be out there, because there's the Three of Wands is like out there on the precipice of like grabbing life by the reins, So it's like those energies of inner, outer, day by day nurturing and dreaming, all of those kind of would you call them dichotomies? I don't know. They feel like opposites sometimes. All of the are coming into balance in the future undercurrent. So that's, I don't know, I think that's beautiful, because a lot of times what we strive for is a feeling of balance. So I'm going to pause and get a drink of water and choose what tarot deck to do clarifications with. Okay, shows my little baby owls because they're tiny and they might be able to fit in here. So what I want to start with is clarifying the World card right here in the overall energy, because that's like something's coming full circle. Maybe this cycle of nurturing something is coming to completion, but let's see what it's telling us. What can we learn from that? We have the Devil. The devil owl. He's all red. Justice. And the Six of Swords. Uh-oh, I have an owl peeking up here. Okay, so right here in the heart of this clarification is truth seeking. It almost feels like, what truth have you been seeking through this journey? Or what are you, but what really came to me at first was like, sitting at this moment where some cycle is completing, we're seeking for what was the truth in it. Yeah, I did this day by day thing over whatever period of time, and then it's like, but what was it really about? What was the deepest lesson I learned from it? Where was balance achieved in that, or where was there imbalance? Since we're going towards more of a balanced state, it kind of feels like maybe there was something about being imbalanced to look at. And I say that because there's the Devil here with the Six of Swords, and the Six of Swords is one of like moving through kind of a hard time towards an easier time. So that's the cycle we're going through. Was this cycle that you've gone through kind of a struggle, or was it hard? And this is saying with the Devil here, you're about to be released from that, but don't just run away from the Devil. What the Devil brings is like this deep reflection on, how might I have been exhibiting or feeling self-deceptive behaviors, thoughts, things that have kept me limited. So not necessarily deception in the most dramatic sense, but like, where did I have self-limiting talk that kept me feeling like separate than or out of connection? Because we have the Hermit here. So I do have to say, like, that Hermit, sometimes that feels like the good aspect of that is like, I'm in my cocoon, I'm seeking my wisdom, whatever. But I don't think that's the kind of hermiting that's been going on necessarily. It might have been one of, because I've been in this journey of putting my energy into something that needed it, apart from myself perhaps, then how did I stay out of connection and maybe use that as an excuse? Okay, so that's what's coming up with the Devil and the Six of Swords. Six of Swords, like, we know where we're going. This is like moving from the hard time to the good time, from all the struggle that comes with like really caring and nurturing for something you really want to see come to fruition. It can be a struggle, and that's coming to an end. But there's also, there's also with these two cards in the clarification saying, where did I need some healing through that journey that I didn't quite get to? Does that make sense? Like when you're in the day-to-day of something and you are putting effort into somebody else, if this is like you've been raising people, or you've been caring for sick family members, or going to school and all you had time to think about were studies, because this is like being in hermit mode for some purpose, then where did I fall out of connection? And where did that cause me now to go and heal some of that? How did I use that as an excuse? Like, oh, I'm in school, I don't have time. Oh, I'm raising kids, I don't have time. Oh, I have sick family members, I don't have time. Whatever it is for you, those are just examples. That may not be any one of those things. Maybe something else. But this says it's time to reflect on, to bring into balance, where did I fall out of connection? Doing the good work that you were doing, but how might, in this new cycle going forward, when things are less of a struggle, how might I use that time, energy, all those resources to get back into connection while still building toward what you deeply desire in life, which is some amount of comfort where things don't have to be a struggle. Okay. Does it mean new groups to join, new hobbies, new interests? It doesn't always have to be new things, but where now do you really want to put your energy that would also help bring back into connection? Which is funny, this whole connection thing has been a theme through these readings the last couple weeks and going into 2026. I do want to also call out that we're in December and a cycle is ending, and we did those whispers of 2026, which was all about, and I say that because of the Six of Swords is like moving into a calmer period in life, at least in the near future, where things can be quieter, calmer, more tender, more gentle, because we got that card gentleness. So where can things sort of like balance out? Like, this is where we're going. Those are the undercurrents, which are less turbulent. Okay, so what I'm going to do is one clarification for the top here with that Eight of Cups. So it's like where you've built up some amount of, like, you think that fuzzies, that you've acquired some inner strength, right? And you know now what you're capable of and what you want to some degree. I don't know if we always know exactly what we want, but you kind of have a North Star, and you're not going to settle for less anymore. So what can we learn in having those thoughts top of mind? What do we need to keep in mind? So we have the Seven of Wands. Let's see, how do I want to do this? So they fit. The Five of Swords. Ooh, there's definitely something we need to look at. And the Sun. There's something here that's telling you to keep positive. So where did you do you have the tendency to go a little dark or just focus on the negative? That's common. No shame in that. But there's something here that says this whole like not wanting to settle for less, make sure that's framed in the positive, or else we just repeat old cycles of hurt, right? So to shift that, it says keep very positive, and also defend against, don't go super defensive, but defend against outward negativity coming in. So who are you surrounding yourself with that are affecting your thoughts? Because that's showing up here to say both on the inner journey and what you get from the outside, keep positive, right? Because when you think about going after what you want, it should be framed in the positive, shouldn't it? Because that keeps the fire lit, the motivation. If it's just psychology. I assume, I'm not a psychologist, but like when we frame things in the negative, it doesn't seem like it could be the fullest like awesomeness of that thing when it comes around, right? So it just feels like an easy thing to say, like, be positive, but I think it's harder in practice. So this is saying with that, they're like reflect, because the Five of Swords I often think is a card of reflection. Like, where have I let external influences really weigh on my mind and create this dark cloud? Who am I surrounding myself with? What am I watching on streaming or TV? Am I watching the news? Like, this is all about, because the Seven of Wands is here, about protecting your peace and staying positive. So whatever that means to you, I think we all intuitively know what we do day by day that maybe could be let go of to create like a more positive surrounding. And we are such creatures of habit that it's like, it's okay to say, okay, well, I'm going to cut down my Netflix, whatever, or stop, which my mom calls her murder shows. Like, she's going to stop watching her murder shows. And it's like, because there's like those true crime things, like, or like true crime podcasts, maybe limit that, cut it back a couple hours a week or whatever. And it's like, we have dials in our life, don't we? We could dial up the, going into nature, and we could dial down the murder shows and podcasts. And we could maybe bring in something new, like positive let's say one positive thing in the mirror every day, in the morning and one at night. And then maybe set like a 5-minute, there's an app, it's free, where you can, I forget what it's called. You can set a like any number of minutes to just be quiet and meditate, like there are little dials we have, like dial up the positive stuff, dial down the stuff that's kind of distracting or dissociating, and all, those, you know what it is. You know what it is in your life. I know what mine are. So I got to take my own advice. Yeah, I need to do that. I've kind of let things slip here is between Thanksgiving and Christmas. I swear to God, I'm like, I don't like sweets. And it might seem like a trivial example, but I do not care for sweets. I like savory stuff. And in this time of year, there's just always sweets around. And I'm like, then I eat it. But I don't even want it. So it's like, just don't put those in my vicinity. Like, don't bring them into the house. Don't, like when my husband he's a sweet person. Pretend it's not there. But that's a trivial example. But you know what those things are that you could dial up for the good stuff and dial down kind of those negative things from external influences. So let's get the Queen of Pentacles. What can we learn from our current situation, where we've gone from kind of being secluded in our efforts. We have the Ace of Wands. Is this the Hanged Man? That's interesting. And the Ten of Wands. Okay, so as we go through, because like I said before, where you've been doing this efforting, that's, for good reason. It's just kept you maybe apart from other extroverted things in your life that you might have wanted to take part in or cultivate. But it is amounting to something. Like in this cycle of things, it's amounted to skilled confidence and maybe some clarity around, like, oh, now I know how to do that thing that I've been doing because I did it every day. I nurtured something. So this is here to say the Hanged Man is this different kind of pause. So it's saying, don't just rush on to the next thing. Like, it's time to pause and really reflect on, what did I learn through this process? Where did it ignite a fire in me? Now, like, how you go through something and you maybe think you're doing one thing and it's amounting to something. But if we really look closely, there's also this other thing that started happening that you're like, oh, I really liked that, or it really sparked an interest in something different. I don't have to keep doing the same thing that I did. As we go into this new cycle, there's a new fire being lit. So something is like, intuitively with this Ace of Wands, what that thing is that you want to incorporate into this new phase. And it's saying, like, this Ten of Wands, don't just keep doing what you've been doing. It's time to lay down what you've been doing and really pick up that new fire and say, but this is what really happened. Yeah, I did a thing and it was great, but this new fire got lit. And that's what's really interesting to me now going forward. So nurture that thing going forward. So what is it? What new thing came in for you during, what did you learn that you did not expect? And maybe you haven't reflected on that yet, but this is the time, because the Hanged Man is here saying, pause. There's a different fire that got lit that might be the thing you've been waiting for. That Eight of Cups, the thing you were like, I don't want to settle for the same old thing anymore. Well, this is saying, okay, well, what is that? Take a pause, lay down all the stuff you thought you were going to keep doing, and reflect on what other things what other fire got lit, because that is here big time. Okay, there's something there, whether you know it yet or not. So now in the subconscious, let's go clarify that. We know we want this deep contentedness in life, that deep comfort. right? Instead of the constantly searching for what is that thing. Well, we know you're going to pause and reflect on what that thing is. It's brought you to this point. You still want that contentedness, and you're coming into balance of something. What do we need to learn in how to shuffle? These little guys are hard to shuffle because they're so tiny. Okay. I'll just do a couple. Here we go. We have the Ace of Cups. You can't see it, but let me hold it up. And the Ace of Cups. Look at that little baby owl. The Knight of Wands. Of course he shows up here. That's pretty awesome. And then the Five of Pentacles. So right here we have the Knight of Wands is one of like action. So what you like, this whole undercurrent is one of action on that, the spark that got lit in this last cycle. Now it's like you need to take that first step in that new direction. Then we have the Ace of Cups saying, whatever that is, make sure that your heart energy is in it, especially with that Eight of Cups, because that's going to keep you in alignment. When you go after and you say, I don't want to settle for less, and it's saying, remember, stay positive. Why don't you want to settle for less? What is better than less? But it has to come from the heart. You're off to seek that thing. And this is saying positivity. What is it? Is it based in love? Because the Five of Pentacles is saying if that's not the case, you're going to continue to feel trapped and separate and in that lack, scarcity mindset. So this says make sure whatever you're doing, it fires up this heart center energy. It's out of love. It's not a logical thing that I feel like, oh, I should do that. Because the Ace of Wands that we got here, that spark that got lit, is something you deeply desire from this energy. Does that make sense? Because only you will feel it. You kind of know when you're like, well, I should do that thing. But it's not, it doesn't light you up, right? It might seem intellectually exciting, but when you like put yourself in the future and you're like, yeah, I don't see me doing that for very long, you know, when you really feel into it. So, because what this is saying, that there is this is a long-term thing if you are feeling like the thing that is, if you find that thing that is the heart-based thing, not the mind-based thing, because the swords now have dropped away, meaning all the thought-based stuff, all the logic, there's no more in here going forward. It's all passion and heart. That's pretty awesome. So I think we're going to end there. Wait, hold on. All right. I thought before we wrap, let's grab an oracle card. And then I thought, well, what deck is calling to me? And these haven't been used much. This is the Soul Coaching oracle cards by Denise Linn. So let's see what message we can take with us today. Communication. You get that tiger with the little girl. You can't really see that very well. There you go. Okay. Number is that 41, 44, or 11? Let's find out. Oh, it's 11. Good. Card meaning, communicate from your heart. Speak your truth without hesitation. That's right here, the Justice card. That's the Truth card right here in the overall. Something about this, I don't know, you're supposed to speak it to yourself first. I didn't see a lot of other people energy here except for the whole protect your peace. Maybe that's going to come up for this for you. You decide. Be willing to stand before the crowd and share from your center. This isn't the time to be shy and hesitant, but to heal through communication. You're a natural teacher. Your soul wants you to know Discretion is the better part of valor. However, sometimes it may be fear rather than discretion that keeps you from reaching out. Communication restores trust and allows you to clarify your ideas, position, and feelings. It can be healing when you share what has been withheld. Now is the time to take a risk and have the courage to speak with forthright clarity. Share any unspoken darkness that lays heavy in the heart. Even if you're afraid, declare your truth for all to hear without fear of being rejected or misunderstood. When you do this, transformation and healing can occur. There's an affirmation here. I communicate from my heart, and love surrounds and protects me. I don't know about you, but what I found interesting was how we have that the surrounding and protecting energy that showed up in the Seven of Wands, meaning protect your peace, understand what's coming in that is not for you. There's the clarity and ideas, which I didn't say that, but the King of Swords is here as confirmation that he is such one of confidence, clarity, sharing ideas, speaking truth. So that's showing up here also. And then there was, there were a couple other things. Well, anyway, it's all been said. But I love, at first, because when I pulled this card, I'm like, well, I wonder how that's related. Oh, only like 5 times in this in the description did it kind of reiterate some things we talked about. So I'm glad it came up. So something about communication. And I wonder if that's because the Hermit, we've been in sort of like holding back mode, where we can sort of like lose that clarity. And it's like, well, what are my boundaries? What do I want? What do I need? And then being able to speak that. And I love how it said that's when trust develops. It's like trust of self, trust in others, of like what you can share and it be understood. So as we move out of this cycle with the World card of being the Hermit and go forth in the world, like speaking our truth with clarity and confidence, that makes sense communication would show up. So I'm glad we're ending on that note. I have to think how it in my life. Where do you feel that? Thank you for being here. Bye.